Welcome in, everyone. I'm Renee, the visionary here at the Phoenix Uprising. In this video, you'll see intuitively chosen images, each attuned to the current energy and meant to spark your inner knowing. This is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest for others. These messages are offered for guidance and inspiration, not as a substitute for professional advice. Let's begin by clearing the space. You'll hear 3 chimes starting now. If you have a question for Source, offer it to the universe and be ready to receive with an open heart and mind. All right, let's begin. Okay, so clearly Mercury must be in the microwave right now, right? I've sat down to do this reading twice. The first time was a technical difficulty. The second time I hit record, or thought I did, got through the whole reading, didn't even hit record. How's your energy right now, friends? I'm hearing dead reckoning. What is dead reckoning? Well, it's finding your current position based on an estimated direction and the distance that you've already traveled. It's a seafaring way to navigate without landmarks, or the stars aren't out, right? There's no other navigation system available. That's what dead reckoning is. You're making an educated guess how far along you are on your journey, your current position, based on the direction that you're traveling, and also how far you've already come. The spiritual connotations to that are pretty profound, I feel like. We're all on a spiritual journey. We're in different legs of the journey, right? There are times where we feel connected to Source and we feel like we have a good understanding of what we're doing. Other times, there seems to be no landmarks. We're having to make an educated guess. How well you're able to dead reckon along your path kind of depends on your spiritual maturity, right? And how long you've been on the journey already. Liken it to a long road trip. A child's perspective on a long road trip is, are we there yet? Right? Every 3 minutes, they're full throttle, ready to be at the destination point 5 minutes after getting in the car, right? They have zero interest in the journey, only getting to Disneyland, not realizing that Disneyland is a 10-hour drive as opposed to a trip to the local park, which is 10 minutes from the house. They get fussy and cranky and hungry and they have to pee, but they're thirsty, and we have to stop 111 times because if you know, you know, right? You as the parent, your perspective is planning the trip, right? Making sure everything is packed. You have a good idea of how to get there, but you've probably programmed the navigation system in the car, and you have a map sitting beside you where you've used your little highlighter to map out the route and the stops and the bathroom breaks, the hotel reservations. You can plan the journey to a T and still be derailed. If the schedule gets thrown off, do you get upset? How do you react when things don't go according to plan? Do you revert to the toddler in the back seat? Like, you're ready to just whip the car around and go back home? Think about grandma's perspective, right? She's been on the journey for a while, yeah? She knows that there's going to be road work, traffic delays, wrong turns taken, but rather than putting so much focus on the destination, she's in the energy of, oh, we took a wrong turn? Well, let's stop and have an ice cream at the little shop that we just passed. Somebody who's just along for the ride, they're just happy to be here, right? She's making conversation about the weather with the gas station clerk. Everyone in the car is on the same journey, mind you, but the perspective is quite different, isn't it, for each individual? Grandma is enjoying the journey even with the delays and wrong turns, because she knows that the delays are for a reason. The wrong turn led you to the best ice cream you've ever put in your mouth. You would have missed it had you not taken that wrong turn. The spiritually mature don't mind delays. I'm not saying it doesn't get frustrating from time to time, but the sky is not automatically falling like Henny Penny. if there are delays or more work that we have to do to get through. They know that all these things work toward their highest good, so they're not so prone to freak out when things don't go according to plan. And they tuned little Timmy in the back seat out 100 miles ago. They're looking out the side window, just being observant and saying things like, that must be new. I don't think that was here the last time I came through. I'm seeing a feather and a clear quartz. Well, the feather to me represents freedom, higher perspectives, the connectedness of all things. The universe, I feel like with this clear quartz, will clarify the delays, the mishaps, the road work that was necessary on your journey. I'm seeing don't be afraid, and difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. And freedom, right. Freedom is very prominent in this reading. You're longing for freedom to explore and to be your authentic self. I would say don't fear the journey, enjoy it. Don't try to rush the journey like the child, enjoy it. The Ten of Cups. You're going to arrive at the joyous celebration and the fulfilling life that you desire to have. Try to keep in mind that the happiness that you seek is not only found in the destination point. You can be happy along the journey too, even with the delays, even with the flat tire, even with the road work. Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups talks about creative endeavors that you've been putting a lot of work into paying off. You're traveling toward this Ten of Cups, and the Knight of Cups brings good news and new adventures. I'm seeing the Devil. Don't be tempted to give up before a breakthrough because you feel like your journey has been postponed in some way. I feel like you're right on time. It may not be your time. It might be divine timing, the universe's time. Think about what it takes to line things up that you're asking for. The Ten of Cups, right? That's a big celebration. Think about what it takes to make big celebrations happen. There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of things that have to be checked and balanced, right? In order to pull off a big celebration. Don't allow the negative opinions of others to make you second guess all of the hard work that you've been putting in. The devil is very good at knowing and exploiting our weaknesses. How so? Well, because we make sure it's known. How do we do that? Through our negative thought patterns, through our negative self-talk. And if we can't be taken on directly in that manner, then others are used to do that work by discouraging us, by naysaying, right? Maybe even further than that, by putting us down or laughing at us or being quick to tell us how ridiculous our ideas are. I'm seeing the horse and the wild Mustang. Well, while there are similarities there are also some key differences, right? The horse has been tamed to serve others through companionship and taking on our workloads and being put in competition and racing, right? They rely also on the care of others for their own well-being. They have to be cared for. The Mustang, however, is untamed. It lives off the land and on its own terms. It has no interest in being tamed. It wants to be free to roam. There we are again with the freedom. I feel like you could be chomping at the bit to be free to live the life that you want. It's coming. You have to be patient. It takes time to line things up in divine timing, if that's what you believe. The universe doesn't work on our time. The horse, you could say, has an easier path. It is cared for, it is fed, it is brushed and loved and looked after, right? While the Mustang, however, it is wild and free, but that is a little bit rougher life, right? It doesn't always know where its next meal is coming from. It has to go search it out. It doesn't have the protection of a barn every night, does it? It has to find a place to bed down for the night, in the rain, in the snow, and in the heat. However, in both of those instances, Source provides. The universe works for you regardless of your current position and your ability to recognize it, right? The dead reckoning. Whether your perspective along the journey is the child's, the parents', or grandma's, the universe is there to help you along. And nothing is more sure-footed if you're in the energy of either the horse or the wild Mustang on a path or a journey than a horse. If you're an equestrian, if you've ever ridden horses, you know that horses are very dependable on treacherous paths, as a matter of fact. They can go places that people wouldn't want to walk on their own, right? And this child and parent and grandma, that's giving maiden, mother, and crone vibes. Maybe that is synchronistic to you in some way. Use your internal guidance system. What does your intuition tell you? Estimate your current position with regard to the 10 of Cups that you're trying to get to, based on the distance traveled. How far have you traveled on your journey so far? I feel like a lot of you've come a long way already. Your direction. Do you feel as though you're headed in the correct overall or general direction? If the answer is yes, then don't allow this devil energy to exploit your weaknesses. And if the answer is no, well, like Grandma, she knows that one is never really lost. We can always course correct. And that even the delays and the wrong turns can and do have value. Difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. Don't be afraid. What energy are you carrying along with you on the journey? It's the same car, the same journey, but different perspectives. You're being encouraged with the feather to have the higher perspective. I'm hearing getting finances in order. You're moving toward financial independence and freedom, independent living, and a slow, intentional, and joyous life. That's very strong. I'm seeing Lady's Mantle and Hyssop. Lady's Mantle is good for uterine health, menopausal support, menstrual support. Hyssop is good for respiratory support and asthma. A time frame for some forward movement. Well, I feel like, first of all, you're already moving forward. I feel like this 10 of Cups will soon be on your horizon line. Land ho, right? You can see it in the distance. I'm seeing Bradford pears and cherry blossoms, so I would say springtime. May you be highly favored and abundant in all good things. I'd like to leave you with today's food for thought quote. Find happiness by enjoying the journey, not by awaiting the destination. Unknown. Stay true to yourself, trust the journey, and step boldly into your next chapter. Only up from here, and together we rise.